things, but they do struggle here, even with regard to the things that were observed by multiple people. We must therefore ask, could it, in fact, be the case that forces and/or entities unknown to science are responsible for what happened at Skinwalker Ranch after all? We cannot...
this isn't bad. It's a good little watch. But the thing that gets me is a lot of people who want to just keep the supernatural aspect alive. I don't want to say push that narrative, because some people just are interested in it. They might admit some of the stories are embellished, but they still do this thing where they keep, this thing alive, where they just say, well, this still isn't explained, and this still isn't explained by science. And you know what? Science doesn't have to explain everything. And not everything you see or comprehend you can figure out yourself. So you make stories about it. It's what humans do. But they make the basic assumption that these people are coming from a place of honesty. And, this guy did address the whole hoax thing and did bring up some good points. But it's still, you're still entertaining the idea that this whole thing isn't BS. And actually, this isn't a bad documentary on it. It's not the best, but it's a lot better than that show. I wasn't even aware of the show till somebody brought it up on my Twitter, and I watched a couple episodes and I rolled my eyes and I couldn't watch anymore. So apparently it's still going. So yeah, if some of the stories are BS and they're BS, and the thing like the Myers living there for 60 years before and never reporting anything. I mean, people can make up stories all they want, their neighbors, and people say they heard that the Myers had said in a story. That doesn't matter. They themselves never reported anything. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, this becomes a hotbed of really bizarre stuff that doesn't make any sense, doesn't tie in together with absolutely anything, and appears random and ad hoc. I mean, the wolf story, the first one, is an embellishment. We know that, because it's a retelling. But you know what? That's a perfect example of how you could even take a mundane thing and that happens and just make it sound completely bizarre. As for a lot of the other stuff, I doubt any of it ever happened. It's just weird. And I don't mean weird because it's supernatural weird. I mean weird because this is so far-fetched and so out there and inconsistent that there's no way any of this happened. It's just all ridiculous. And I don't want to hear the trope of, well, there's a whole universe that we can't explain. Well, yeah, I get that. But why only on this property? Why so random? And why all this stuff that contradicts and doesn't make sense or whatnot? It's ridiculous. That's not a defense. Sasquatch must exist because, even though we've never found a skeleton in the woods, because no one's ever found a bear skeleton in the woods, and we know they exist. One, yeah, we have. And two, if we haven't, it doesn't matter. We have bears in zoos. That's not evidence. That's a crappy argument, okay? But anyway, I've ranted enough. Just thought I'd do something different for you guys for once.